Hey y'all, I'm Cameron. Welcome to the channel. To today's video, if you've been here before, you may realize that we're not in my regular Muaffice setting. Makeup artist office, that is. And you're right, we actually are technically in the Muaffice. We're just in a different corner. We're in my bedroom. And I'm on my bed, my favorite place of all time, in the world, ever. I had a really great morning. It was the most eventful morning that I've had in a while, and I just figured it was worth sharing with you. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to keep it pretty low-key, as you can tell. I'm already a little disheveled from the day. My hair is a mess, but that's not what's important. Let's talk about my morning. It started at 5:15 a.m., which is, generally speaking, pretty early. Even the people who I consider who wake up early, like the 7 o'clockers, are like, 5:15, what? I'm just not an early riser. My higher self says that I am, and one day I'll get there, because I've experienced enough of them where I'm like, wow, that's cool, but clearly it hasn't inspired me to do it on a regular basis. Beside the point. Why'd you have to wake up so early today, Cam? I'll tell you why. I had to go to the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles. Coming from Michigan, I'm used to calling it the Secretary of State, but it's a DMV. So I have to train my brain still. It's been a while, but it's still a problem for me. Anyway, I needed to get my driver's license, and I've been pushing it off for a while. I have my Michigan license. I have a driver's license, but I just needed to get a new one. It expired. So I looked at the DMV website to see what I needed to do to be prepared, because I'd had my fair share of times going to the Secretary of State in Michigan, where I've shown up, didn't have all my stuff, and had to get sent home. And that is just a total bummer, dude. Especially because I get really worked up. Like, whenever I have to adult, I'm just like, okay, I'm ready. And then when I'm disappointed or something goes wrong, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go home and cry. I'm working on it. It's a process. Anyway, so I check on the website to see what I need, because I have not had a California license before. So I'm like, do I need to retake the driver's test? Like I'm in a different country or something. Do I need to take the written test? What do I need? So I think I have everything that I need. I'm like, okay, I don't have to take the driver's test, but I do have to take the written test. It's going to be super easy. They'll make it easy for me. However, don't underestimate. Do some homework. So the last week or so, I have looked throughout the handbook. I've taken all the sample tests multiple times. I'm getting myself in a groove, especially because I haven't had to do anything like this recently, especially as an adult. I just haven't needed to put my skills to the test in any kind of way, at least in an official setting, right? So actually I was going to go yesterday to the DMV. They open at 8 a.m. and right now, because of everything going on, I hate when people say that because we know what's going on. It's not that vague. Because of the pandemic, the DMV is not taking appointments, and if you know, appointments are lifesavers because it will take what could be an hour and a half wait to a 5-minute wait. Anyway, since that's not the case and there's not a waiting room, you got to do some planning ahead. So I went yesterday, showed up at 8 a.m. right when they opened, because I thought that was the cool, smart thing to do. And turns out it wasn't. There was already 100 people in line. I was like, let's regroup, show up tomorrow at 6 a.m. So that's what we did. Get there at 6. There's already 20 people in line. Better than yesterday. Take it for what it is. I'm not leaving without a license today. So I get myself in line. Basically, I'm sitting on the sidewalk for 2 hours. Totally not bad. It was actually kind of chilly. There wasn't a big sun ray situation just yet. So I wasn't sweating. I'd much rather be cold. I was listening to a podcast, bettering myself, and it's 7:30, and someone comes out from the DMV and is like, hey, here's all the stuff that you need if you're trying to get your license. And I'm like, check. Wait a second. Also, I realize I'm talking super fast like I'm on cocaine or something. I'm not. I just have a lot of energy, and it's really weird, but I'm going with it. Anyway, so I talked to her, and I was like, listen, you're telling me that I need one of these 3 forms of identification in order to get the license. She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So basically, I had prepared 11 proof of address documents. And I have my social security card, but I didn't bring my birth certificate. Of all of the things, I didn't bring my birth certificate, which is the one thing that is really important. So I thought I had extra documentation, and I didn't. So I had to regroup. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way I'm waiting in a longer line. I can't leave and come back. It's just not an option. So thankfully, my boyfriend dropped me off, and I talked to him, and I was like, listen, I need you to go get my driver's birth certificate. Because the woman was like, look, you're going to get a number. Your number's not going to get called just yet. You might have some time before you have to actually be inside the office. So you could potentially make it back in time. So I was like, let's go for it. Let's try it. I didn't leave because I knew that wasn't the move. And while he was gone, I'm like trying to bargain with people. I'm like, look, what number are you? I'm 14. You're 22. I'll switch with you. And the dude's like, no, you got to like swap out all your numbers and stuff. And I was like, okay, fine. Anyway, it ended up being fine. He came back in the nick of time. They just called number 13. I was number 14. Literally, he dropped off the papers and I was in the door within 60 seconds. It was perfect. I talked to a couple of people in the DMV. You know, they have all the stations. You do your paperwork, you do your photo, and then they have the testing area. Each person that I talked to at 8 a.m. at the DMV of all places, where, mind you, there's already a customer who's like yelling at another customer, calling her racist. So we're off to a great start. Every person that I talked to was a total breath of fresh air, a total gem. They were so pleasant and eased my anxiety because, again, I was like, I have to take this test. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I just had some energy worked up about it. But that's okay. So then I get to the last station, the testing room. I give the woman my paperwork and I sign everything. She looks it over. She's like, okay, you're good to go. This is your temporary license. You'll get your real license in a few weeks mailed to you. And I was like, I thought I had to take the test. She's like, no, girl, you're fine. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So all of the work that I thought I was doing and all of the stuff that I was preparing myself for, because I thought I read very clearly, and I clearly did not, that I needed to take this written test, I didn't. So what a weight lifted off my shoulders. So my main takeaways from this morning were, one, triple check the stuff that I need to bring in those types of situations. But ultimately, my mood totally shifted. I had a complete 180. I woke up, it was grumpy as all get out because it was super early. I tried to depuff my face for the half of the time I was getting ready because I looked swollen because that's just the morning. And because I was going to take my picture. It's going to be on my ID for 5 years, Can't be looking like a goblin. Anyway, my mood completely shifted and the people around me completely put me at ease. Not only in line, but also the people working at the DMV. I'm so grateful for the people around me that love me and lift me up, especially my boyfriend. We are nothing without the people that love us. It's so true, and we get by with a little help from our friends because I would have been completely SOL and had to learn yet another lesson and had to come back again if he wasn't able to come and grab my birth certificate. And 3, it feels really good to wake up early. Now, not the moment you wake up, but the fact that I was out of there by 8 o'clock or 8:30, by the time they basically open, and I was done, I was a licensed woman, was crazy to me. That's normally when I wake up. Came home, made breakfast. It really set me on a completely different path for the rest of my day. And it started me off right out of the gates. I really appreciate that. And I know the power of that. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a goal of mine to wake up a little bit earlier. And to the people who do, I admire you. I really do. I just, like I said, the days aren't that special these days. Nothing is super stand out. Nothing's super excellent all the time. And I don't really have to wake up and go anywhere most days. So this was something that could have just been a bummer. Not the end of the world, not put me in a downward spiral, but just kind of a part of the day. And it ended up being so awesome. My energy walking out of there, it was like I was walking on freaking pogo sticks. I was just looking at everybody in line, not like poor suckers, but you got this, guys. I was just vibing. So I just wanted to share. That's the mood that I'm in. I haven't even had coffee today, and this is the energy that I have. Although I could take a nap at any given moment. I think it's a superpower of mine. I feel really good, and I feel accomplished. And this is also just for me to hold myself accountable. I hope I watch this video back in a year, and it's after I'm waking up early and accomplishing more, and I only get better from here. So I hope the same for you. I just want to share in the little wins, and I hope you're able to do the same for yourself, whether you're an early riser, good at time management, not me, or in a similar space as I am. I think it's really important for us to all share our little wins. So with that said, That's all I have for you today. Please, in the comments below, share with me a little win. Did you have a really good cup of coffee? Did you make yourself a good breakfast? Did you have a turnaround DMV story like I did? Was it mind-blowing? Share some good news. We could all use some. Please take care of yourselves, be well, enjoy the little moments and the lessons that life has for us throughout all of our experiences, no matter how mundane they may seem. And I'll see you next time. Love you so much. Bye.